What's up, YouTube? This is the Wisco Boater channel. My name is Chad, and today I'm going to start working on a what's it called? A cockpit gate. That's it. So my boat has what appears to be a missing cockpit gate. There are holes drilled in the posts that look like they probably had a hinge at one point. So I don't know what happened to it. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to build a new gate, and I'm starting with cardboard, which is what I start most projects like this with. You know, cardboard makes it's a perfect material for templates. So what I did was trace the opening onto this piece of cardboard, and I'll kind of show you how I did that. And then I've got a piece of king starboard coming, should be here probably within the next hour or so, as long as FedEx doesn't get lost or lose my package like they usually do. I learned about this material from Marty Zoffinger. He's got a YouTube channel called Zoffinger. If you haven't checked out that channel, check it out. If you're into liveaboard boats, Chris-Craft, it's an older Chris-Craft. I think he's got I don't know what year it is, probably early 80s, 310. What is that? I don't know if it's a Catalina or a Corinthian or whatever, but Chris-Craft 310 liveaboard. He's doing the Great Loop, but in spurts here and there. He's into fishing, kayaking, kayak fishing. But this material that I learned from him, called King Starboard, came from a video that came out about a year ago, I think. And he took a plastic fishing boat, don't know the brand, but added an extension to the stern of the boat using this material, King Starboard. And it's like a Delrin plastic, or you know, the kind of stuff that's like cutting boards are made out of. I don't think it's quite like that. This will be the first time I will handle this stuff when it gets here, so I'm looking forward to it. But check this video out. It's I think it's called Poor Man's Triple Center Console. He took three, I think 15 horse outboards and made a mount on the back of this boat for three small outboards, and then used it throughout the boat to make the center console. It's just it's a fantastic material, and I'm really excited to start using it. So the video's got like 8 million views. It's like 48 minutes long, but it's one of the most ambitious, entertaining, inspiring DIY boat videos that I've ever come across. So maybe I'll just link it below. It's an awesome video, check it out. But Marty doesn't need promotion for his channel. He's got like, I don't know, he's got plenty of subscribers. But he's an awesome guy, so check that out. But I'm gonna be using this material to build the swinging gate portion of the cockpit gate. And if this goes well, I think I'm probably going to use the same material to build my cabinet door that I'm going to replace the wood sliding doors that cover the cabinets above the stove and refrigerator in the galley. I'm gonna pull those out and then just put a panel of this stuff that folds, that opens up like that, assuming this all goes well with this gate. So here's how I'm starting with this piece of cardboard. Okay, so on this piece of cardboard, you see here I've got some lines that I've drawn with pencil. What I did was I took this piece of cardboard, stood it up. If you can imagine, the post for the railing here and the other post right here. I drew lines on the inside of the posts. So this line are the sides, and I made little marks down here for the bottom on each one, and then up here as well. So I'm just gonna take my ruler, measure across the top, measure across the bottom, cut the open space out using this piece of cardboard as the template, and then when the King Starboard gets here, I'll lay this on top of it, trace that out. And this King Starboard stuff cuts like wood. So it should be fairly easy to get the shape that I need. And I'm excited to use it. So I'll start with cutting out this cardboard, and hopefully the King Starboard's here soon. Well, as soon as I hit stop on that last little section there, FedEx pulled in the driveway, and I have my piece of King Starboard. We'll open that up here in just a minute, but first, got to cut this out. Got our template cut out. I think what I'm going to do though is take this up to the boat with me next weekend, since there's no rush on getting this done. I just want to get started on it today. But I am watching an electrical boat seminar on YouTube. This angle right here is not 90 degrees. So if I put it up on a level surface like this, using my bubble level, it's not, I can tell by the bubble that it's not 90 degrees. So I'll get that piece of king starboard out here in just a second, show you what that looks like. But as far as work moving forward today, this is where I'm going to stop, because I want to make sure that this is accurate to the opening that I need. I thought this was going to be 90 degrees, but it's not. So we'll take this back up to the boat, make sure that it is the shape that I need. It's either correct, or all I'm going to have to do is trim some of the bottom off here to make this 90 degrees, if that post is 90 degrees to the floor. So let me get that piece of king starboard out and show you what that looks like. Here is the king starboard, whatever. I call it starboard. I think that's how it was Zoffinger, how Marty pronounced it. So this is a 1/4 inch piece of off-white. I thought the off-white would look best with the flooring and the upholstery and the top and everything that the boat has. So did an off-white. And I don't know if you can see it. It's probably not high definition enough on YouTube to see it, but it does have a texture to it. You can hear my fingernails. So it's not just a smooth piece of, I mean, it is plastic, I guess. Just call it plastic, but let me get the template here. Set the template in place. And I've got plenty of space all around the piece of king starboard. I think this is a 27 by 24. Let's see. Yep. 27 by 24. So my template will fit on there just fine. This piece, I believe, was, well, I paid $42 for it with free shipping because it was my first order with Boat Outfitters, and I think I got a $10 off coupon. So this piece is like $52 plus shipping if you have to pay shipping. So I thought about doing 1/2 inch, but really for a cockpit gate, I don't think 1/2 inch is really necessary. This stuff is somewhat pliable, but I think it's going to be plenty sturdy to make this gate work out. So it'll take hinges, you can drill into it, you can screw into it. So yeah, this should work really nice. But first, got to go back up to the boat and make sure that my template is the correct size, and then we'll come back to this in another week or so. All right, so I just got up to the boat about an hour and a half ago. So the first thing I'm going to cross off my list on this 1.5 day long visit is to be sure that my piece of cardboard fits the gate opening there, so that I can cut that piece of king starboard to the correct size. So let's take a look. Let me set the camera down and we'll make sure this works. Okay, so I cut this piece of cardboard to fit inside this stanchion and this stanchion. And after I got it cut at home, of course, I was like, oh boy, I need to make sure this actually is going to fit before I go cutting that piece of king starboard. So if we hold this up right about there is where it will go. Yeah, it fits that opening just about perfectly, which I think I'll make a note to cut it just a 1/4 inch wider on either side so that it won't go past, so that when the gate closes, it runs into this right here. So the other thing we need to make sure of is that because of the angle of this side, we need to make sure that it's going to swing open correctly. So make sure it's not going to hit the floor. So if I hold it at the top here and kind of create a hinge point and open it up, yeah, that'll work just fine. So if I hold this here, and then move the camera, you can see there's plenty of clearance between the bottom of the gate and the deck. So let's close it back up. It'll go right like that. Okay, so we're good. All right, cardboard always comes in handy. This will work out perfectly. There is holes already drilled right here for hinges, and there's also 2 holes drilled right there for a latch to be put on. So swing the gate closed and just latch it from the outside. So that's awesome. All right, 1 task down. Got a million more to go. Can you hear that wind? It is really windy outside. Anyway, back at home with the confirmed, geez, the wind is whipping. The confirmed template fitment on the boat yesterday. I'm going to trace the outline of the template onto this piece of starboard, and I'm going to make it 1/4 inch wider on either side, and then use the top and bottom dimensions as laid out. Now, I forgot my tripod up on the boat, so I'm not really going to be able to, I guess, record all of this, but all I'm going to do is trace this onto this, take my jigsaw, cut it out, and then I'll show you the piece when I'm done, I guess. So I'm just going to cut it out here, take it up to the boat, and then I'll just go to the hardware store up in Sturgeon Bay to buy the hinges and the latch. The gate piece is now cut out and has a radius on all 4 corners. This stuff is really is pretty cool to work with. They say that it works and cuts just like wood. It's close. I mean, it's still plastic, so it's not exactly like working with wood. It's probably a little bit more forgiving than wood. So that is the full-size piece. This will be the hinged side. And now that it's cut down, it's a little less flimsy, flexible, I guess, than it was before. I mean, it's only 1/4 inch thick, so it is going to have some flex to it. I am going to put some edging all the way around. That stuff's going to be here tomorrow. But I'm not going to put it on because I have to put a hinge here and a hinge here and then latch on this side before I put the edging on it. But this is the way this is going to go to the boat, and we'll get it installed here in a few weeks. Okay, back to the gate project. This is just one of those checklist items that's been sitting here for a little while now, and I finally have the hardware to do it, so I think I have just enough time to wrap this project up before I have to leave today. So let's get this gate installed, hopefully. All right, so the first thing here, I've got some nice stainless steel hinges. Got a couple of different lengths of screw hardware here. Hopefully these are long enough. That'll kind of suck if not. Yeah, I think I'll be able to get a nut on the end of that. All right, I have a clamp. I had a clamp in my car. So what I'm hoping to do here is clamp this piece of probably king starboard, I would guess. Clamp it a little tighter. So that I can get that screw or the bolt or the nut on the screw started. Alright, well, this project might be a bust for today. I don't want to crack this, and I just simply need longer screws. So Yep. All right, well, bummer. Gate will have to wait again. I just don't have enough time to go to the store and get back and do this in time. Man, that's a bummer. All right, I made a day trip back up to the boat just to try and get a few things done. Nothing else going on today, so bought some longer hardware, and I think we'll be able to make this. Actually, I'm probably going to do it the other way. Yeah, we'll do it that way. So I'm going to put some regular lock nuts on here, and then I'll probably get some acorn nuts to cover up the thread so nobody hurts themselves. And maybe do I not have the right threads? I think I bought 1024 nuts and I have 1032 bolts. Why? Nothing's going right today. I think I'm just gonna leave. All right, I'm finally gonna get this gate project done. Got the correct hardware. I did change my hinges just because the nice stainless hinges that I have, that I bought, the spacing isn't quite right for the holes that are already drilled here. So I'm just gonna switch to some cheaper hinges that were actually already on board the boat. So we'll get this thing installed finally. Okay, I've got the hinges installed. Acorn nuts on the threaded side so that those aren't sharp edges. And now we're going to fit the door. And I'm just going to kind of have to hold this in place and mark the holes and get the holes drilled. So because this is kind of in a weird spot, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and I'll just show you the finished product once I get the hinges drilled to the board, and I'll get the magnet installed on the other side, and then we'll put some trim on it. Hopefully wrap this thing up because I'm tired of doing this one. Okay, the hinge part of the gate is done. See, it lines up nicely over here, swings freely. Now I got to do the magnet catch over here. Just use those, probably use those two holes right there. So, and it's, like I said, it's a 1/4 inch. It's a little bit flimsy, but I wanted it to be lightweight, and all this is really for is to keep the dogs from leaving the boat. So I'll get the magnet catch put on and show you the finished result after I put the trim on it as well. All right, we have a finished gate, more or less. I'll point that out here in just a second, but got the trim put on. All I could find was gray. I couldn't find a tan color, but I think the gray looks nice. So this closed. I think it turned out just fine. Look at it from the outside. Now the reason I won't call this completely finished is because the screws that are used to hold the magnet in place are too long, so they stick out right here. That's not safe. So what I'll end up doing is just going to the hardware store and getting some real small little bolts, and we'll re-secure this with appropriate safe hardware. Same thing on the door here. See the screws stick out the backside, but for all intents and purposes, this gate is done. Thanks for watching this episode of the Wisco Boater channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, send me some comments, and if you want to be notified when I post new videos like this one or any other boat project maintenance or cruising videos that will happen during the boating season, hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time on the Wisco Boater channel. Happy boating, everybody.